Hi there. What you just saw was a row of our shallots that are asking to be harvested. My name is Barb Melera. I'm a member of the team at Harvesting History. We're an heirloom horticultural company that specializes in heirloom seeds, heirloom roots and sets, heirloom tubers, heirloom bulbs, flower bulbs, and then classic vintage designed gardening tools. Today we are going to be talking about harvesting and storing shallots. And this is part 2 of 2 videos. The first one we published about 2 years ago, and that taught you how to plant shallots and to plant them for the most part in the fall. Now we are going to teach you when it is time to harvest these shallots. Now, these shallots were planted last October, towards the end of October. And of all the things in the rooted vegetable kingdom, shallots are the most dramatic. They are the prima donnas of the soil. They say hi to you in the fall, then they die back, then they come up in lovely clusters. You could actually use them as decoration in a flower garden. And then they slowly but surely begin to mature, and when they're ready to come out of the ground, they basically scream at you. And I want you to look at this. Look at this melodrama. Look at this plant. Now, it is not that bad in that soil. It's nice soil, but you would think this shallot had been through hell. It hasn't. It's been lovingly cared for. What I want you to understand is that you plant one shallot. This one shallot, which happens to be a Dutch shallot, this shallot will produce 4 or 5 or 6 shallots when it has matured in the ground. So, to respond to the pleadings to get it out of the soil, I'm going to take my hori, which is my favorite gardening tool, and I am going to dig up this whiny plant. And sure enough, look at this. Four beautiful shallots from basically something that looked like nothing in the soil. Let's do another one. Let's try this little lady here. Look at the size of these guys. They're huge. So, this one shallot produced these 4 shallots. And normally you can get as many as 5 or 6 in a cluster. Now, what we're going to do is take these, and I'm going to show you what you do next in terms of trying to cure them so that you can use them in your cooking throughout the winter. Okay, we went through the first part of harvesting, curing, and storing shallots. Now we're in phase 2, which is curing. Understand that the reason you are curing your shallots is just to extend their shelf life. And you should know that shallots rot very quickly. So the curing process is extremely important. What I do is I've got some of this wire mesh, and I take and arrange the single shallots. I take them apart and I arrange them with their stalks on the mesh, they need to have air circulation around the entire shallot. So this works the best for what I have. And then I take these and I move them into a shaded area. You don't want your shallots exposed to full sun. They may begin to rot immediately if that happens. So give them between 2 and 4 weeks depending on the weather in your area. You will know that they're done when the shallots look like this. And then what you can do is you can clean the shallots, take the stalk off, and then you can store them. But let's take these shallots and put them in the place where they are going to rest for the next 2 to 4 weeks while they cure. No direct sunlight. It doesn't have to be pitch black. It does have to be an area that has excellent air circulation. So far in this video, we've taken you through removing the shallots from the soil and then curing the shallots so that they last a little bit longer. They have a longer shelf life. What I want to emphasize as we get to the end of the curing part of this video is this is the ideal conditions for curing shallots. First of all, you have 360 degrees of air circulation. There is no direct sunlight that comes into this space in this garage, and there's tremendously good air circulation. That's what you need to cure shallots. The curing is going to take, depending on your own weather conditions, between 2 weeks and 4 weeks. And then, once you have cured the shallots to extend their shelf life, now we're going to store them. So what you do is, once these are dry, you're going to take the soil off, what's left, and possibly that first layer of shallot skin. And these shallots, look at this, come from the same batch that we dug up. And that's how beautiful they clean up once they've been cured. So remember, once you have cured them, take the soil off, take the first layer of skin off, and they're ready then to be stored. I like to store them in this netted bag. Whatever you use, you need to store them in something that will give them air circulation. So plastic or a plastic bowl is not going to work. There needs to be air circulation. And now for the thing you've been waiting for, the one piece of information that makes this video valuable beyond belief. And that is, where do you store them? Now, let me tell you something about shallots. I already told you they're prima donnas, and you saw how melodramatic they were in the soil, where they just lay down like this and you think they're dying. Well, the other thing shallots are is they are deceptive. They are little deceptive vegetables, and they can look perfectly fine. They can look just like this, perfect. And then when you open them up, when you cut them up, you find out that they have rotted from the middle, and you have no way to tell looking at them from the outside. Well, they rot pretty quickly. The most you have on a shallot that's just stored, say, in your onion bin or your potato bin or something like that, the most you have is between 4 weeks and 8 weeks, maybe 12 weeks. That's it on shallots. They rot very quickly. But what I'm about to tell you is the ultimate secret. If you take these shallots and you store them in your crisper section of your refrigerator, these shallots will last a year, maybe longer. That's the secret worth watching this video for. That shallots, when they're stored in the refrigerator in the crisper section, will last about a year. They are incredibly good storage vegetables, but they have to be refrigerated. So I think we've taken you through all you need to know when it comes to shallots. They're a magnificent vegetable as an onion replacement. They're milder and usually sweeter than onions, and they add a great flavor to gravies and sauces and condiments. Just about anything you can think of that you would use an onion for. So think about these. If you've never grown them, you already know they are, based on our videos, very easy to grow. So take a look at our first video in this series. It was published about 2 years ago, and it's on planting onions, garlic, and shallots in the fall. And then think about purchasing some seed shallots now, starting now, and you're going to plant them in late October or late fall, when late fall comes to your area. So remember, they're a wonderful vegetable. They are easy to grow. They're delicious in so many different food preparations. And if you refrigerate them, they'll last about a year. If you are interested in shallots, I would suggest you place your orders now, because they do run out, because not many vendors now are carrying shallots. And if you do that, I would suggest you come to our website, which is www.harvesting-history.com. We have an excellent collection of onions, shallots, elephant garlic, and garlic. Once again, the website is www.harvesting-history.com.